My name is Chris McCartan. I am co-president of the Carolina Miners. So I actually didn't start playing lacrosse until my sophomore year of high school. Now, I say that in a little bit, with a little bit of a caveat, and that is I grew up playing hockey. And when you think about the hand-eye coordination, but also the spacing, the recognition of unsettled situations, and the fact that you grow up on the Canadian border, most hockey players, when there's no ice on the rink, pick up that lacrosse stick. It just made a ton of sense for a guy who could no longer skate with the really good hockey players and needed something to do. So started playing my sophomore year of high school. Was fortunate enough to have just an absolutely incredible high school lacrosse coach. His name was Ed Greenway. Went to high school at West Jenny. So I mean, this is a guy who had it in his blood from the get-go, and then moved on to Syracuse. At Syracuse, I have a little bit of an interesting history. I was not a recruit when I got there. I attempted to walk on in the fall as an attackman, because that's what I played in Western New York growing up, and I was cut. It was a numbers game more than anything, but realistically, I probably was not at that level. Coach Simmons was nice enough to allow me to come back in the spring as an attackman and give it another go. So he was going to let me try out for a week. After 4 days, he came up to me on the 5th day, and I was already strapped up. And the first week of lacrosse practice in the spring at Syracuse is torture. I mean, it is run till you throw up and then run a little bit more. And he came up to me and he said, listen, it's you seem like a bright guy. It is a numbers game. I'd love to keep you, but I just don't have the need for another attackman, and I'm bringing in other people like Casey Powell next year. It's just not going to happen. But I'm not going to think less of you. If you want to just bag it right now, who the hell wants to run into the ground when you could be doing something else? Well, I'm already strapped up. I'm thinking that maybe this is the last time that I'm ever going to touch a lacrosse stick in my life. I'm wearing all Syracuse lacrosse gear. And I'm like, nah, I'll hang out here. So we go through practice in a very, my performance is probably very pedestrian. I mean, nothing of note. And we play in the Carrier Dome on the backside, because basketball's still in session. And the turf is absolutely horrendous. And we're wrapping up practice. It's probably like 5:45, and we're in 6-on-6. I'm on the sideline with my attack stick in my hand. And during a ground ball scrum, a stick of dynamite goes off. It is a reserve senior defenseman's knee, just shredded. Takes a step, ACL, MCL crushed, and the party's over. Everybody's starting to leave, feeling awful for him, and as I'm walking out thinking that I played my last bit of lacrosse ever, I hear Coach Simmons behind me. Doesn't even remember my name at this point, just says 18, and finally I figured out that he's talking to me. I said, what? He said, if you want to go to the equipment manager tomorrow and get a long stick, you can be an Orangeman. Probably never touch the field, but you can be part of this team, because I definitely need some guys for practice in light of that injury. And a couple of years later, it all started, and I ended up being a 3-year starter, national champion, and captain. I even get emotional when I'm talking about it, because the opportunity that Coach Simmons gave me and the support that all the guys on the team also gave me in the process of trying to learn this game. And I will tell you this, should have been defenseman my whole life.